It was a pretty dramatic day in court for Hannah Freeman, a former fourth-grade teacher sentenced for stalking her ex-boyfriend 33 times in just 19 days. But calling it dramatic is putting it mildly. This police chief's daughter had just learned that family connections wouldn't save her from real consequences. The case that brought Hannah to that courtroom started with a desperate 911 call. The victim, David, reported that his ex-girlfriend continued to stalk him, park her car next to wherever he was, and follow him home every night. But here's what makes this case even more disturbing. Hannah Freeman wasn't just any teacher. She was the daughter of North Ridgeville's chief of police, and she believed that connection would protect her from consequences. This is the story of how privilege, obsession, and entitlement collided in a courtroom, and the shocking meltdown that followed when reality finally caught up with a woman who thought she was above the law. Hannah Freeman was 27 years old with a master's degree working as a fourth-grade teacher in North Ridgeville, Ohio. On paper, she looked perfect, educated, professional, working with children. But Hannah had a secret weapon she'd been using her entire life. Her father, Michael Freeman, was the chief of police for North Ridgeville. In 2022, Hannah was arrested for disorderly conduct over noise complaints. When police confronted her, Hannah's response revealed everything. She told the officers and multiple neighbors that she would not get in trouble because her father was the police chief. This wasn't just privilege. This was someone who fundamentally believed rules didn't apply to her. That 2022 incident should have been a wake-up call. Instead, it became validation that her connections would protect her. When she met her future victim in early 2024, that dangerous mindset would escalate into something far worse. Hannah met David, a middle school teacher at Lee Burnson Middle School in Westlake, Ohio. Both were education professionals with clean reputations. They seemed like a perfect match. But by April 2024, David had enough. The relationship was over. He told Hannah it was finished. In his mind, they both needed to move on. Hannah Freeman had a very different understanding of what over meant. What happened next would last for months, traumatize David, and ultimately land Hannah in handcuffs. When David thought the relationship ended in April, Hannah was just getting started. She began showing up at his workplace uninvited and unannounced, parking in the school lot and watching. According to police GPS tracking data, Hannah Freeman visited David's school 33 times on 19 different days over 30 days. Think about that. Sometimes multiple trips per day. This wasn't coincidence. This was systematic surveillance. But Hannah wasn't content to just watch. According to David's testimony, she was following him home every single night. On November the 6th, 2024, Hannah's behavior escalated to criminal. She had planned to spend the night at David's apartment, but he told her not to come. The relationship was over. Hannah showed up anyway and discovered another woman there. This sent her into a rage. Instead of leaving, she broke into David's unlocked car and systematically stole items. 2 backpacks containing laptops, his wallet, car keys, and prescription medications. This wasn't emotional, it was calculated. Hannah took things David needed daily, forcing him to contact her. After months of stalking, David finally called for help on November 7th. He reported that his ex-girlfriend continued to stalk him and park her car next to wherever he was and follow him home every night. When asked how long this had been happening, David's answer was devastating, probably a month. Now, a full month of daily stalking before he felt he could call police. The next day, Hannah showed up at his school again. David called 911 a second time. This time, police responded and found exactly what he described. Hannah sitting in her car, watching and waiting. The body camera footage reveals Hannah's mindset when confronted. When asked about being in David's vehicle, Hannah claimed they went to get dinner together, reframing theft as consensual interaction. No shock, no denial, just casual dismissal. Throughout the arrest, Hannah showed no genuine remorse or surprise. This wasn't someone who made a mistake. This was someone who got caught. While Hannah was arrested outside, David told police the full scope of her behavior. He revealed she had stolen items from his car, including medications he needed, his car keys, a laptop, and his wallet. He also reported that she had run up a bunch of charges on one of his credit cards. David revealed deeper violations. She knew passwords to his accounts and had been messing with them. The credit card charges were all from Amazon. Hannah was using stolen information to access his personal accounts and shopping with David's stolen money while stalking him. Hannah was initially charged with 5 felonies: stalking, burglary, 2 counts of aggravated theft, identity fraud, and drug theft. These weren't minor charges. They carried potential prison time. But by June 2025, something remarkable happened. 5 felonies became 3 misdemeanors: disorderly conduct, obstructing official business, and possessing criminal tools. How does someone with overwhelming evidence against them negotiate away felony charges? The answer involves privilege, legal maneuvering, and a system that often treats female perpetrators as needing help rather than punishment. Hannah's attorney, Michael Kinlan, employed masterful minimization tactics. He claimed the relationship didn't end in April, but continued until November 6th, the day of the theft. Most audaciously, Kinlan claimed Hannah was invited to David's school 33 times to help with classwork. This was the argument that a middle school teacher needed help with classwork 33 times in 19 days from an elementary teacher. The defense explained the theft as Hannah taking his book bag for about 3 minutes when she discovered another woman, despite evidence showing the systematic theft of laptops, a wallet, keys, and medications. On sentencing day, Hannah delivered what appeared to be a carefully rehearsed statement, reading from notes. She stated that she regretted the incident, acted out of emotion, and regretted the decision she made that night, promising to take steps to move on and not be seen in court again. The language focused on that night, as if months of stalking were one evening's mistake. The statement was brief, generic, and completely lacking genuine remorse or acknowledgement of David's suffering. Legal experts later noted the statement was formulaic and dismissive, as if Hannah was checking a box and expecting immediate forgiveness. Judge David Tatia had heard enough, calling it a bizarro breakup between 2 professionals, and stating the investigation did not paint a pretty picture of her behavior. He then delivered the sentence: 18 months of community control, a no-contact order with the victim, a GPS monitoring device for the first 90 days, house arrest with work release, and mandatory mental health counseling. Then came the bombshell. She would serve the first 7 days of her probation in the county jail and was ordered remanded immediately. Hannah's reaction was immediate and shocking, shrieking and crying as reality finally hit someone who expected privilege to protect her forever. Her attorney frantically tried damage control, moving to withdraw the plea and go to trial instead. Judge Tatia wasn't having it. He pointedly asked the attorney if he had made any effort in the last 6 months to discuss what sentence the judge would impose after negotiating a plea deal with the state. The attorney admitted he had not, having only previously asked for her to be removed from GPS monitoring. The judge dismissed this, stating that the attorney's bad practice was not his problem. Hannah Freeman was then escorted to jail, crying and shrieking, the sound of someone who had never faced real consequences, experiencing accountability for the first time. Criminal defense attorney Diane Menashe identified the failure, noting that the defense attorney didn't do what is standard practice, which is to sit down with the judge beforehand to understand the potential sentence. But the attorney's failure was just one piece. Hannah had been protected by multiple privilege layers: her father's police position, her professional teaching status, and gender stereotypes about female perpetrators. The case shows how institutional privilege can delay accountability until evidence becomes undeniable and a judge refuses to play along. Hannah Freeman fits the profile of an entitled stalker, someone who believes their victim belongs to them regardless of the victim's wishes. The helping with classwork excuse reveals classic stalker reframing, turning criminal behavior into caring actions. In Hannah's mind, she wasn't stalking, she was helping. The theft escalation shows abandonment rage. When emotional manipulation failed, Hannah escalated to crimes designed to force contact. The systematic nature reveals calculated thinking, not an emotional impulse. Her complete meltdown when sentenced reveals someone who genuinely believed privilege would protect her indefinitely. David's month-long delay in calling police highlights the challenges male victims face with female stalkers, including the stigma about being unable to handle an ex-girlfriend, a concern especially potent for male teachers. Comments from the viral video show public understanding of this dynamic, noting that men often don't call the police for fear of being laughed at, and the fact that David did call 911 shows he was at his wits' end. The case sparked important conversations about how society views intimate partner violence when gender roles are reversed. Hannah served 7 days in jail, but consequences extend beyond incarceration. She lost her teaching career permanently and faces 18 months of GPS monitoring, house arrest, and mental health counseling. Her attorney faced reputational damage for his courtroom failure. David finally has legal protection through no-contact orders and GPS monitoring. The case also sparked policy discussions about privilege protection, male victim recognition, and institutional accountability when family members commit crimes. Hannah Freeman's case represents both system failure and ultimate success, a failure to prevent privileged escalation, but a success in eventual accountability. The case shows a public hunger for accountability stories where privilege eventually runs out and justice prevails. But it also reveals how many failures occurred before consequences arrived. The viral attention sparked serious discussions about male victims, female perpetrators, and institutional privilege, topics often overlooked in mainstream coverage. Hannah Freeman walked into court expecting privilege to protect her and walked out in handcuffs, finally understanding actions have consequences. For David, the case represents validation that his fears were real and that his courage potentially saved his life. The ultimate lesson is that recognizing entitled stalker behavior early and responding with immediate consequences might prevent escalation to criminal levels that traumatize victims and destroy lives. Hannah is now serving her sentence under court supervision. Whether she truly understands what she did wrong or just understands she got caught remains to be seen.